All right, I want to show a quick video about cutting with knives and machetes and swords and things like that. Since I work primarily for a karate school, I don't get to do a lot of knife work and stick work with them. So I have a lot of people who are very experienced in karate and very good at karate. They're very experienced at kickboxing, very good at kickboxing, but they're not always necessarily great at knife and stick fighting. And one of the problems I've discovered people are having is that when they go to cut, they're not cutting, they're hitting the object and pushing, right? And they seem to think that that's the way that you want to cut something or the way a cut will work, and it's not, right? Think about cutting a steak or cutting meat. You don't cut a steak down with your knife and just push your knife through it. You slide it across, or you slide it back and forth. Think a chef's knife, right? You slide it. So when we do a cut, you want to make sure you are cutting. Another way of looking at it is making sure, I teach to make sure that after each strike, your pommel, the back end of your knife, comes back toward yourself. So if I reach out to cut, I bring this pommel back in toward me, right? If I go to cut, my pommel comes back in toward me. And you will see that in a lot of Kali demonstrations. A lot of the Kali guys making these big circular motions where they're demonstrating that. And there's a reason they're doing that. It's a good reason, right? So I want to show you here two different cuts. And we'll just do an angle one. And I'll show you an angle one where I cut versus an angle one where I push. And I'll try to exaggerate them a little bit more so you can see it, but you'll also be able to see the difference of what happens, right? So I'll do the cut first because this is tall and this is, you know, not really very firm target and it flops over easy. It can be hard to cut. And I just have it kind of wedged into a stand here. It's not really secured. So the first cut's actually going to be harder, right? So I'll do the cut first. Yeah, I'll do the cut first. Doesn't really matter. And then the push, all right? So there was my cut. You saw that I came in, I hit, and I pulled back, right? And I cut through. Now, it wasn't a perfect cut, and we can get into the fact that there's some curve here, so I had some issues and everything else. But now look at a push. You seeing a difference? Yeah, it went in, but it didn't by any means cut it off. And what happened is, as I came in on the same angle, since I wasn't actually cutting, this started to move, and that's where you got this downward wedge. If you are cutting water bottles, especially gallon jugs, they cut no matter what. But if you're cutting and you're seeing a wobble, you're probably pushing. You're probably not cutting your way through, you're probably pushing your way through. And that's going to be a big, big problem.